I'm going to tell you something right now that might change your life forever. And I don't say that lightly. What I'm about to reveal is not the kind of thing you'll find in a school textbook. It's not the bedtime wisdom your father passed down, nor the moral lessons your teachers repeated until you memorized them. This is something society doesn't want you to know, because once you do, you'll never see the world the same way again. Pause. There are two versions of life. The one you live before you know the truth, and the one after. And the man responsible for unlocking that truth was born over 500 years ago. His name was Niccolò Machiavelli. He wasn't a saint. He wasn't a priest. He wasn't even a man that history remembered as good. But he was dangerous because he wrote down the laws of human behavior as they truly are, stripped of illusions, stripped of morality, stripped of the lies we tell children to keep them obedient. His book was so shocking, so powerful, that the Catholic Church tried to erase it from existence. Kings, popes, generals, and presidents studied it in secret, all while condemning it in public. Why? Because Machiavelli didn't write philosophy. He wrote an operating manual for human beings. Not how we pretend to work. Not how we wish we worked, but how we actually operate underneath the masks, beneath the pretty words, inside the shadow, where power really lives. And here's the chilling part. Those who already know these truths are using them against you every single day. In politics, in your workplace, in your relationships, in the media you consume. They are playing chess while you are still playing checkers. Pause. Think about it. Why did no one teach you this? Why didn't your father, your teachers, even your mentors tell you the rules of the real game? The answer is simple. Because they didn't know. Because their fathers didn't tell them. And because society itself has been designed to keep you blind. You were programmed to believe that seeing reality makes you cynical. That, being strategic, makes you manipulative. That understanding power makes you evil. But that is a lie. The truth is this. Ignorance is not virtue. Ignorance is weakness. And starting right now, I am going to peel away that blindness. I am going to hand you the forbidden knowledge that Machiavelli risked his life to write down. Knowledge that splits men into two groups. The ones who remain asleep, and the ones who finally see. Once you see it, you can never go back. Pause. So let me give you your first taste of the darkness. You've been told your whole life that humans are rational, that we weigh options carefully, that we think logically, that we choose the path that makes sense. That's a lie, and it's one of the most dangerous lies you've ever swallowed. Machiavelli exposed it centuries ago when he wrote, "Men in general judge more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see but few can feel." What does that mean? It means that people don't make decisions based on truth or reality or logic. They decide based on appearances, on illusions, on what looks right, not what is right. And here's the darker reality. Most people don't even want the truth. They want comfort. They want stories. They want illusions that feel safe. Think about it. The friend who asks you for advice about his failing relationship only to ignore you when the truth hurts too much. The coworker who complains about being broke then wastes money on pointless luxuries because the ritual feels good. The woman who says she wants a nice guy, but keeps falling into the arms of the man who treats her like an option. Logic evaporates when it collides with fear, with lust, with status, with desire. That is the real game, and you've been playing it wrong because you were told to persuade with facts, to win arguments with evidence, to guide people with reason. But facts don't move people. Feelings do. The man who masters emotion, who learns to bypass logic and strike directly at the heart, that man controls every room he walks into. He doesn't need to prove he's right. He makes people feel he's right. And that is infinitely more powerful. Think about the greatest manipulators in history. Hitler didn't rise to power with charts and data. He rose with speeches that inflamed anger, fear, and hope. Corporations don't sell you products with chemistry formulas. They sell you happiness in a bottle. Religions don't spread through debates on philosophy. They spread through fire, hope, damnation, and salvation. It is always the same game. And until you see it, you will keep losing. So here is your first Machiavellian lesson. Stop trying to change minds with facts. Start shaping emotions. If you want someone to follow you, don't tell them what's good for them. Make them feel good about themselves. If you want to influence a partner, don't argue about logic. Make them feel the pain of losing you or the joy of pleasing you. If you want to dominate in business, forget statistics. Craft the story that makes your audience believe you are the inevitable winner. The man who argues with facts is a teacher. The man who commands emotions is a king. And once you learn to see people as addicts of feelings, addicts who chase comfort, status, security, you will see through everyone. You will see the politician's smile for what it really is, a mask. You will see the influencer's brand for what it truly hides, manipulation. You will see your co-workers' excuses, your partner's promises, your friend's pleas, all disguises to protect feelings, not reveal truth. And once you know that, once you can see behind the mask, you can pull the strings. Pause. But this is just the beginning. Because if people are not rational, if they are creatures of fear and desire, then everything you've been told about loyalty, kindness, and morality collapses instantly. And that brings us to Machiavelli's next dark warning. There are only two kinds of men in this world: predators and prey. Which one will you be? Every morning you wake up, step out into the world, and walk straight into a battlefield. But you don't see it because the battlefield has been hidden beneath polite smiles, polite conversations, polite rules. Make no mistake, you are either hunting or being hunted. This is the second truth Machiavelli burned into history. Human beings divide into two kinds, predators and prey. And right now, someone is feeding on you. Pause. Maybe it's the boss who overloads you with work while he takes the credit. Maybe it's the friend who keeps you around because you always say yes, even when it costs you. Maybe it's the partner who drains your energy while giving you nothing in return. You think it's love. You think it's loyalty. You think it's duty. But predators don't call it feeding. They call it normal. They smile as they take from you. They hug you as they weaken you. They convince you that sacrifice is noble, that being a prey animal is virtuous. And here's the dark part. You've been conditioned to believe that. Your whole life you were told to be nice, to share, to turn the other cheek, to never fight back, to obey. But Machiavelli looked at life through a different lens. He saw that men who live only by kindness are devoured. He saw that the sheep who kneels will never rise. And he declared something that shocked his entire generation. It is much safer to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Think about that. Safer to be feared. Safer to radiate power than to radiate kindness. Safer to be the wolf than the lamb. Why? Because love is fragile. Love is conditional. Love fades the second it collides with fear or self-interest. But fear endures. Fear plants itself deep in the mind and doesn't move. Pause. Now here's the part they don't want you to hear. Weakness is not forgiven. It is punished. Look around you. The world does not reward the weak. It uses them. It exploits them. It feeds off them until there is nothing left. And when they are drained, when they are broken, when they are no longer useful, they are discarded. That is the true law of power. And if you look at history with open eyes, you'll see it written everywhere. Rome did not become an empire by being gentle. America did not dominate the globe by being modest. Corporations don't build empires by being generous. Predators rule because prey refuses to fight. And here's the secret. Every predator was once prey. Every wolf you see today was once a lamb who woke up to the truth. Every strong man was once weak, betrayed, exploited, laughed at, until he decided he would never kneel again. The choice is yours. Pause. So what does it actually mean to stop being prey? It means you must stop advertising weakness. You show weakness every time you say yes when you mean no. You show weakness every time you let an insult slide without consequence. You show weakness every time you beg for love, beg for validation, beg for approval. You show weakness every time you try harder to please than to be respected. And predators smell it. They can sense weakness in your tone, your eyes, your posture, your silence. The man who radiates weakness is marked for consumption. The man who radiates strength is marked for survival. So how do you transform? How do you shift from prey into predator? Machiavelli's first command: stop expecting loyalty. Listen carefully. No one is loyal to you. They are loyal to what they gain from you. Your so-called friends, your colleagues, even your partner, they don't love you. They love what you give them. Your time, your energy, your comfort, your status. The moment you stop feeding them, watch how fast they vanish. That's not betrayal. That's nature. So, stop being shocked when people act in their own interest. Stop expecting saints. Start calculating like a wolf. Machiavelli's second command: use strength as theater. Power is not only about what you are, it's about what people believe you are. The wolf doesn't need to bite every day. He just needs to show his teeth. You don't have to be cruel, but you must never look harmless. Because harmless men are invisible, disposable, forgettable, and no one fears what can be erased. And Machiavelli's third command: punish betrayal swiftly. When prey is betrayed, they cry, they plead, they forgive. When predators are betrayed, they make an example. Not out of rage, not out of ego, but out of law. The wolf that lets betrayal slide invites the entire pack to test him. The man who enforces consequence earns respect, sometimes even from his enemies. Pause. The reality is brutal, but freeing. You cannot save yourself by being harmless. You can only save yourself by being dangerous. This doesn't mean you walk through life with cruelty. It doesn't mean you hurt for no reason. It doesn't mean you abandon morality. It means that morality without strength is meaningless. It means that kindness without boundaries is suicide. It means that if you do not claim power, someone else will claim it over you. And if you still doubt this truth, let me ask you one question. When was the last time you respected a man who couldn't defend himself? When was the last time you trusted a leader who couldn't punish betrayal? When was the last time you followed someone who bent to every demand? Never. Because deep down, even prey admire predators. They fear them. They follow them. They submit to them. And that's why weakness is not only dangerous, it is fatal. Pause. From this day forward, stop pretending the world is kind. See it for what it island. See the predators circling. See the sheep waiting to be devoured. And then decide, will you live your life as someone else's prey? Or will you become the predator who writes his own fate? Because the truth is this: only the strong are free. Every man wears a mask. You do. I do. Everyone you know hides behind one. And if you don't believe that, then I have bad news for you. You're probably wearing the most dangerous mask of all. The mask of honesty. Pause. Here's the raw truth Machiavelli drilled into history. The world does not reward truth tellers. The world rewards illusionists. Think about it. Have you ever met someone who was respected not because of what they did, but because of what people thought they did? The man who speaks with confidence, even when he knows less than you. The colleague who plays innocent while pulling strings behind the scenes. The celebrity who maintains a perfect image while hiding chaos and scandal in private. That is not accident. That is strategy. That is the mask. Pause. Machiavelli put it bluntly. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few really know what you are. What does that mean? It means reality doesn't matter. Perception does. And the man who controls perception controls power. This is why deception is not a crime in the game of life. It is the game. And here's where most men fail. They think that by being authentic, by being transparent, by being real, they will be respected. But authenticity, without strategy, is just another word for weakness. No one wants to see all of you. They want to see the version of you that benefits them. They want to see the hero, the leader, the lover, the figure of strength. Not the fears, not the doubts, not the bleeding wounds. You were told, just be yourself. But here's the dark truth. No one respects the raw self. They respect the mask. Pause. Let me give you an example. Imagine a king. He is terrified of rebellion. He is uncertain about his generals. He feels weak inside. But in public, he must wear the mask of certainty. He must smile as though his throne is untouchable. He must walk with the posture of a man who fears nothing. Because the moment he shows doubt, the vultures circle. The moment he admits weakness, the knives come out. That is why Machiavelli warned rulers and men alike never to reveal their true selves. Because truth invites attack. Illusion disarms it. Pause. Now, let's bring this into your world. In your workplace. Do you think the man who rises to the top is always the smartest? Number. It's the one who projects the mask of competence, confidence, inevitability. He isn't always better. He just looks untouchable. In your relationships, do you think the person who wins love is always the most kind, the most giving, the most honest? Number. It's the one who wears the mask of mystery, of strength, of value. The one who hides enough to stay intriguing. The one who never lays all his cards on the table. Even in friendships. Do you think people stay loyal to the one who is most real? Number. They stay loyal to the one who makes them feel important, powerful, respected. The mask is not optional. It is survival. Pause. So how do you master the art of deception without becoming a liar? Here are Machiavelli's laws of illusion. Law 1. Never show your full hand. Keep something hidden. If people believe they fully understand you, they stop fearing you. They stop respecting you. Mystery creates gravity. The unknown keeps them cautious. Law 2. Control your image. If you don't define yourself, others will define you. Craft your reputation with care. Let people see only the parts that make you powerful, desired, respected, and cut off anything that weakens that picture. Law 3. Deception is not always lying, it's selection. You don't have to invent falsehoods. You simply choose what truths to reveal and what truths to bury. Tell people what strengthens you. Silence what weakens you. That silence is not dishonesty, it is strategy. Pause. Think of every great leader, every ruler, every celebrity. Do you really think you've seen their whole self? Or have you only seen the mask they chose to show you? Steve Jobs wore the mask of the visionary genius while hiding the chaos of his personal life. Napoleon wore the mask of invincibility, even as his empire crumbled at the edges. Even today, influencers wear the mask of luxury, perfection, and happiness, while drowning in debt and despair behind closed doors. But here's the catch. The mask works because the crowd doesn't care about truth. The crowd wants an image to follow. They want a story to believe. They want an illusion that makes them feel safe, inspired, powerful. And if you can provide that illusion, they will hand you their loyalty, their money, their love, their obedience. Pause. Now, does this mean you should be fake? Does this mean you should abandon honesty? Not exactly. It means you must understand that truth is a weapon, not a gift. You don't hand it freely to everyone you meet. You place it carefully, strategically, when it serves your power. Truth without strategy is exposure. Truth with strategy is domination. That is why Machiavelli's mask is not about lying, it's about survival. It's about remembering that humans don't see reality. They see what they want to see. And the man who provides that vision controls them. Pause. So from this day forward, stop showing the raw self to the world. Stop handing your weaknesses to those who will use them against you. Stop exposing the deepest truths of your mind, your fears, your wounds. Instead, ask yourself, what mask will make me untouchable? What illusion will protect my power? What image will magnetize respect, desire, and loyalty? Because in this game, you don't win by being naked. You win by being cloaked. You win by making them see only what you want them to see. And when you do that, when you master the art of deception, you are no longer a pawn in someone else's game. You are the one writing the story. Respect. It's the word everyone craves. It's the invisible currency that buys loyalty, influence, and survival. But here's the secret Machiavelli revealed. Respect is not built on kindness. Respect is built on power. And the most reliable foundation of power is not love. It is fear. Pause. We've all been trained to believe the opposite. That to be respected, you must be loved. That if you're good to people, if you're generous, if you're always available, they'll repay you with loyalty. But has that ever worked for you? Think honestly. When you bent over backwards for friends, did they truly respect you, or did they quietly take advantage of you? When you gave without limits, did people stay loyal, or did they ask for more? When you chose to be nice instead of strong, did you gain power, or did you lose it? Machiavelli saw this clearly centuries ago. He declared, "It is much safer to be feared than loved." Not because fear makes people hate you, but because fear makes people remember you. Fear makes them think twice before crossing you. Fear makes your boundaries sacred. Pause. Now let's break this down. What is fear, really? It's not rage. It's not violence. It's not cruelty. Fear is anticipation of consequence. The predator is feared not because he attacks every second, but because everyone knows what could happen if he does. The king is feared not because he punishes every subject, but because everyone knows he will punish betrayal without hesitation. Fear is the shadow that follows power. And when you understand how to wield it, you become untouchable. Pause. Here's where men make the mistake. They think fear means being brutal. They think respect means being loud, aggressive, dominant in every moment. But that's not power, that's desperation. True fear is built on control, on restraint, on precision. The wolf doesn't howl all night to prove he's dangerous. He waits in silence and strikes only when it matters. That is the key. Fear without control breeds rebellion. Fear with control breeds respect. Pause. So how do you cultivate fear without turning into a tyrant? Machiavelli's first principle: always keep the option of punishment alive. When someone wrongs you and you let it slide, you don't earn respect, you lose it. When you enforce boundaries swiftly and decisively, people learn the cost of betrayal. Not with emotional outbursts, not with reckless violence, but with cold, deliberate consequence. People remember consequences far longer than they remember kindness. Machiavelli's second principle: never let familiarity breed contempt. If you are always available, always accessible, always predictable, you become common. And what is common is never respected. Make yourself slightly out of reach. Let others feel your absence. Let them work for your attention, your approval, your presence. The rare is respected. The abundant is ignored. And Machiavelli's third principle: fear must be balanced with trust. If you rule by fear alone, people will obey you in the moment, but plot against you in the shadows. But if you combine fear with competence, if people believe that following you secures their survival, their success, their future, then their loyalty becomes real. Because here's the truth: people don't follow the kindest leader. They follow the strongest leader who makes them feel protected. Pause. Think of history. Alexander the Great was loved by his soldiers, yes, but he was also feared because he demanded discipline and punished betrayal without hesitation. Julius Caesar was adored by the Roman people, but his rivals feared him so deeply that they killed him, proof that even the greatest must always balance love with fear. Modern rulers, CEOs, military generals, they don't win loyalty because they're nice. They win loyalty because people trust their strength. Pause. Now, let's bring it to you. In your personal life, if you are too soft, too forgiving, too desperate for love, people will use you. But if you show that betrayal has a cost, that disrespect has consequences, suddenly you become magnetic. People lean in. They respect the boundary. In your career, if you're the man who tolerates every insult, every slight, every extra burden, you'll be buried alive. But if you show backbone, if you command respect through discipline, through standards, through silent authority, your presence alone becomes power. Even in your friendships. If you're always the clown, the helper, the one who gives without demanding respect, you'll be disposable. But the moment you shift, the moment you command respect with silence, with boundaries, with control, they'll look at you differently. Because fear and respect are not enemies. They are brothers. And when they walk together, power is born. Pause. So here is the Machiavellian truth you must burn into your mind. Kindness without fear breeds contempt. Fear without respect breeds rebellion. But the balance of the two creates unshakable power. If you want to be loved, make yourself useful. If you want to be respected, make yourself feared. And if you want to rule, become both. Because love fades. Fear endures. And respect, real respect, is carved from the shadow between them. Every empire that has ever fallen, every king who was ever dethroned, every man who ever lost everything, all fell for the same lie. They believed in loyalty. Pause. We are taught from childhood that loyalty is sacred, that friends are forever, that family will never betray us, that lovers will stand by us no matter what. But Machiavelli looked at life with clear eyes, and what he saw was brutal. Loyalty is not real, it is conditional. Pause. Think about your own life. How many people swore they'd always be there for you only to vanish the moment it was inconvenient? How many friends said, "I've got your back," until the price of standing with you was too high? How many lovers promised forever, then left when temptation whispered in their ear? That's not bad luck. That's human nature. And Machiavelli knew it. He warned rulers never to depend on loyalty, because loyalty is a mask worn only as long as it benefits the wearer. He wrote, "Men are ungrateful, fickle, liars, and deceivers. They shun danger and are greedy for profit." Does that sound harsh? Maybe. But look around, and you'll see it's true. Pause. Here's the real definition of loyalty. Loyalty is nothing more than self-interest disguised as devotion. Your friend is loyal to you because you give them something: status, comfort, connection, money, or entertainment. Your employee is loyal because you pay them. Your lover is loyal as long as they believe they can't do better. But the moment you stop giving, The moment their self-interest points elsewhere, loyalty evaporates. Pause. This is why kings were betrayed by their closest advisors. Why generals were assassinated by their own men. Why businessmen are ruined by their partners. Why lovers walk away after promising forever. It's not shocking. It's predictable. And if you still depend on loyalty, you are setting yourself up for betrayal. Pause. So, what is the Machiavellian answer? Never build on loyalty. Build on self-interest. If you want someone to stay, don't rely on their love or devotion. Tie their survival, their success, their pleasure directly to you. Make leaving you costly. Make betraying you dangerous. Make loyalty the most selfish option they have. Pause. Think of a mafia boss. His men don't stay because they love him. They stay because their wealth, their families, their lives depend on him. Their loyalty is chained to their self-interest. Think of corporations. Do you think employees stay because they love the CEO? Number. They stay because their paycheck, their healthcare, their identity is tied to that company. Think of relationships. The partner who feels they can't replace you, that their best life is with you, will stay. Not out of blind loyalty, but because leaving you would cost them too much. That is the secret. Tie loyalty to interest, not promises. Pause. Now, let's go deeper. Machiavelli also warned about betrayal. He saw that betrayal always comes from those closest to you. Enemies cannot betray you, only friends can. And the more you trust blindly, the sharper the knife they hold at your back. So, how do you protect yourself? Rule 1. Expect betrayal. Don't be surprised by it. Don't cry about it. Anticipate it. If you assume everyone is capable of betrayal, you'll never be caught off guard. Rule 2. Divide loyalty. Never give one person total control over your fate. Divide responsibilities. Divide trust. Divide power. That way, no single betrayal can destroy you. Rule 3. Use betrayal as fuel. When someone betrays you, don't see it as the end. See it as exposure. They've revealed their true face. And now you can act, cut them off, punish them, or turn the betrayal into leverage. Pause. History is filled with examples. Caesar trusted Brutus and was stabbed to death in the Senate. Napoleon trusted his allies and was abandoned when his empire weakened. Countless kings trusted their generals, only to be overthrown by the very armies they commanded. And yet, the strongest men always knew. Loyalty is temporary. Power is permanent. Pause. Now, let's bring this to your life. If you build your career on loyalty, you will be crushed. Build it on being indispensable instead. Make yourself so useful that betraying you would mean their own downfall. If you build your relationships on loyalty, you will be broken. Build them on value instead. Become the kind of man or woman whose presence elevates the other so much that losing you would be their greatest mistake. If you build your friendships on loyalty, you will be disappointed. Build them on aligned interests instead. Walk with people whose paths benefit from walking beside you. Pause. Here's the final Machiavellian truth of this chapter. Trust is an illusion. Interest is reality. Stop asking, who is loyal to me? Start asking, who benefits from staying loyal to me? Because when interest and loyalty overlap, that's when bonds last. Not forever. Nothing is forever. But long enough to build power. Long enough to win. Long enough to survive. Pause. So remember this. Love can fade. Loyalty can break. Promises can shatter. But interest? Interest never lies. And the man who understands that will never again be blindsided by betrayal. Everything we've uncovered so far has been leading to this moment. The truth about human nature. the reality of predators and prey, the power of masks and illusions, the necessity of fear, the fragility of loyalty. All of it points to one final transformation. The transformation into a man who cannot be broken. A man who is untouchable. Pause. But let me be clear. Untouchable does not mean invincible. You will still face obstacles. You will still face enemies. You will still bleed. The difference is this. While others crumble under pressure, you remain unshaken. While others panic in chaos, you stay composed. While others beg for safety, you create it. Untouchable men bend reality instead of being bent by it. Pause. So how do you become untouchable? Machiavelli's final lessons hold the key. Step 1. Build the fortress within yourself. Machiavelli warned rulers never to hide inside castles of stone because fortresses invite siege. But he also taught this: the only true fortress is the one you build inside your mind. When you master your emotions, you are untouchable, because no insult can control you. No betrayal can shatter you. No fear can paralyze you. Most men are puppets, their strings pulled by anger, lust, greed, or despair. But the untouchable man cuts those strings. He feels everything, but he acts only when it serves his strategy. Pause. Ask yourself, do you control your emotions, or do they control you? Because until you master yourself, you will always be ruled by others. Step 2. Become a master of appearances. We've said it before, people do not see truth, they see illusion. So craft your illusion with precision. Appear confident, even when you are still building your strength. Appear controlled, even when storms rage inside you. Appear inevitable, even when you are still fighting in the shadows. The untouchable man is a magician of perception. He makes people believe what he needs them to believe. And in doing so, he bends the world in his favor. Pause. Step 3. Control through scarcity. Your time, your presence, your energy. These are your treasures. Waste them, and you become common. Protect them, and you become rare. The untouchable man does not beg for attention. He does not chase approval. He does not exhaust himself to please the unworthy. He gives himself only to those who earn it. And because of that, his value multiplies. Pause. Step 4. Be feared for the right reasons. Fear is powerful, but only when it is clean. The untouchable man is not feared because he is cruel or reckless. He is feared because his boundaries are unbreakable. Because betrayal has consequences. Because he is not the kind of man you test twice. And that kind of fear breeds respect. Step 5. Tie others' survival to your success. We saw in Part 5 that loyalty is an illusion and interest is reality. So, the untouchable man builds systems, relationships, and alliances where others benefit most by standing with him. He becomes indispensable. He becomes the center of gravity. He becomes the one no one can afford to betray. Pause. Step 6. Embrace necessity over morality. This is the darkest lesson and the hardest to accept. The untouchable man understands that morality is flexible, that sometimes cruelty saves more than kindness, that sometimes deception protects more than truth, that sometimes breaking a promise prevents greater destruction. He does not chase the illusion of being good. He chases what is necessary to win. And in doing so, he survives where others fall. Pause. Now, let me warn you. Becoming untouchable will change everything. Your relationships will shift. Some people will fear you. Some will hate you. Some will envy you. But those who remain will respect you. They will follow you. They will look to you as a leader, not because you begged for their love, but because you earned their fear and admiration. And once you become untouchable, you will never again be controlled by illusions. You will see the strings others pull, and you will cut them. You will stop being prey, and you will walk as a predator among sheep. You will carry the mask of power, but beneath it, you will hold something even greater: freedom. Pause. So the choice is now in your hands. You can continue living as you are, blind, weak, loyal to illusions, waiting for betrayal. Or you can embrace the forbidden truths Machiavelli gave us. The truths that society hides. The truths that make men dangerous. The truths that make men untouchable. Pause. Ask yourself, do you want to be remembered as the man who followed the rules and was devoured? Or the man who rewrote the rules and survived? Because in the end, power is not given. It is taken. Respect is not handed to you. It is commanded, and life does not belong to the harmless. It belongs to the untouchable.